It's my favorite time of the year, Coach. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach, Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell to our left on the ones and twos. Mike Lang will be doing all the camera work here tonight from Bear, Delaware. A little technical issue, so we weren't able to get on for the pregame show, but we are happy to be ready just for tip-off here around the corner, Coach. It is Caravel and Cape Henlopen, the tournament getting underway tonight here in the boys high school basketball in the state of Delaware. Should be a fun one between the 12-8 Vikings and the Caravel Bucks.
9-24, and let me tell you something, the 24 seed Cape Henlopen is a dangerous team. Not a great draw for Caravel. I'm really looking forward to an exciting game here this evening at Caravel.
And we'll get the scoreboard off and running up here shortly, but let's dive right in as we are underway. Playoff basketball here in Delaware. As the defense here, Clemens going to hit the deck, almost forces the steal. And how about Wyatt up ahead to Miles White, and Caravel strikes first.
Well, Caravel's defense has really created some problems for teams throughout the year. They play an aggressive 2-2-1 3-quarter court, and they'll play you man, and right now they are up and into Cape Henlopen, really trying to dictate the pace of the game from the defensive aspect.
Cape to try to answer, and they do. A three off the hands of Tyrone Tolson.
Tolson's got great range. He's got it to be defended extremely well. A good response by Cape Henlopen after that initial turnover.
Your starters for Caravel is going to be Miles White, Dom Wyatt, Zane Bone, John Clemens, and Makai Carmen. And for Cape, Tyrone Tolson, Drew Zimmerman, as here's the drive with the left hand and a finish for White, and he's got the first two buckets. Usually a little bit of a slow starter, off to a great one here in the playoffs.
Miles White is their third scorer, but let me tell you something, if he's your third, you're really in good shape. He is a terrific player, loves to drive it, but can also shoot the three.
Good defense there by the Bucks. Last touch, though, off the hands of Miles White, off of the miss of Tolson. So it's going to be Tyrone Tolson, Drew Zimmerman, Cameron Trammell, Timothy Hitchcock, and Jacob Schell, your starters for the Vikings.
Going with some extra defense is Caravel with Makai Carmen getting the start here this evening.
Excuse me, Trey Leggins actually a part of that starting lineup here for Cape Henlopen. So 4-3 early, Caravel lead. Tolson goes on the baseline, finishes off the glass.
Tolson gets in an isolated situation on the left side of the court and is able to drive. No help at all by Caravel.
So Miles White 4, Tolson 5. That's the score here early on, 2 minutes into the opening quarter. Clemens, room to fire for three. No good. Carmen, the offensive rebound, leads to a Wyatt three. That one's right down.
Wyatt is such a terrific player. He's the leader, is the point guard. He gets it done in a lot of different ways. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but when he does, he's very accurate.
And there he is on the defensive end. Has the steal, trying to finish the other way, and he does. Reverse layup goes for Dom Wyatt.
He's dynamic in the defensive side.
Quick answer from Cape, shot off the hands of Leggins. Wouldn't go. Rebound to Zane Bone.
One thing that Caravel likes to do with their defense is increase the pace. They want you to push it. They want to play a high possession game. So look forward to Cape to try to slow it down and make sure they get a good shot every time down the court.
Here's White again, 2 buckets already. As we hit the 5:20 mark, 9-5, Caravel out in front early here in the opening round of the playoffs. Teams making the tournament. Clemens, the floater, as he got inside, wouldn't fall.
Clemens with an isolated situation himself on the right side. Just couldn't find a way to get the floater to go.
Wyatt pokes it away, leads into the hands of White, who couldn't finish in transition. 2 Vikings there to provide the defensive help. And now Cape trying to score the other way. Kick out, Leggins, open three, rims out.
Clemens is a terrific rebounder. He garners that one as a long arm player. They need to get him going early on, so I'm not surprised that Coach Tobin's going to call his number several times in this first quarter to try to get him off.
9-5, Caravel still out in front, 4:30 and ticking here in the quarter. Clemens thought about the three. Will kick it out to a wide open Miles White, and his three wouldn't go, but now a second chance for the Bucks. He'll let another one fly, this one way long.
It was a nice job offensive rebounding by Clemens, who tipped it out to White again in that corner for the second consecutive three.
Trail three for Zimmerman, who followed up his way on up the court. That one fly, wouldn't go, and now Dom Wyatt going to slow things down with that 9-5 lead as we hit the 4-minute mark of quarter number 1.
Zimmerman is a dynamo. He wants to get them going via the three or by drives. I really like his game, and he's going to be key for Stephen's team here this evening.
Here's Clemens trying to take Tolson. Good defense by the junior Tolson, able to poke it away underneath, though will stay. And now some subs as Carmen will head to the bench. In comes the freshman and the talented one, Trevor Webster.
Nice job by Tyrone Tolson, the junior for Cape Henlopen, to level off a really difficult Clemens.
Trying to hit Clemens on the backdoor on the baseline. Now it's Cape in transition. Leggins able to put it off the glass and through.
Cape has no fear about themselves playing in the full court tempo when they dictate it. I just think against the Caravel pressure, they didn't want to get sped up and take a lot of bad early shots.
9-7, 3:24 to go here in the first between Caravel and Cape. Wyatt, he'll let a three go. Short off the front end of the rim into the hands of Zimmerman, who leaves it up ahead for Leggins, who maintains body control and once again able to finish in transition.
Zimmerman is a really good passer. He has a great feel for the game. He knows how to throw the right pass at the right time. He's a real key here for Stephen Ray.
9-all here at the 3-minute mark, as we're 5 minutes into the game here between Cape and Caravel.
Caravel likes to play the 4-out. Clemens sometimes will post up. Sometimes he'll play out on the perimeter.
Miles White tried to go on the baseline, and great help defense. Tolson came over, swatted the shot away, so he'll get the block. Although I believe it out of play, so we'll stay with Caravel after the block by Tolson, who's had a fantastic first 5 minutes of this ball game.
He's been electric at both ends. That time he came off as the help, blocked the shot, but unfortunately stepped out.
Once again, Leggins finds himself ahead of the pack. This time can't finish. And then we're going to have a whistle on Leggins as Robinson hauled in the rebound for Caravel. That'll be our first foul of the ball game. It'll go against the senior Trey Leggins.
Leggins gets out on the fast break after the mistake. He comes down, and at times you're just better off finishing off 2 feet so you can attack the shot blocker. He didn't realize that there was somebody close behind, and I think that's what caused the rush shot.
Miles White will get a breather here for the Bucks. In comes number 5, Ryan Black, the junior. And he thought he might take a 3 early. He'll step into an open mid-range jump shot. Battling for the rebound, and that's going to be pulled away by Odin Potemski. Leads to a quick trigger 3 the other way for Tolson. Off the mark. Rebound, though, is up and through. And there he is, Potemski, fresh into the ballgame.
We talked about the big men for Cape last night on the show, and Potemski already shows us how important he is, and Shell, who started the game. They can be rim protectors inside. They're great passers. Their length bothers people, and they can finish on offensive rebounds.
Here's Webster, going to put it on the floor. As Caravel working around the perimeter, 11-9, 1:49 and ticking. Here's Wyatt getting down the lane, lost control of it. And that's exactly what happened. Lost it out of bounds, goes Dom Wyatt, and the Cape defense forces the turnover.
Wyatt typically is really careful with the ball. That time he just got a little out of control on the left side. The ball slipped out of his hands. Remember, it's a brand new ball. Sometimes the ball is not broken in enough for the players, and if they haven't developed a lot of sweat, sometimes the ball is going to be more slippery than they would like.
Leggins will drive and kick. Now they'll work it around. Here's Zimmerman. Can't get by Black, but a nice feed on the block to Leggins. It's going to lead to a 3 in the corner, around and out for Timothy Hitchcock.
Well, a really nice play to penetrate and then kick a wide open shot from the corner. They need to make more of those against this Caravel defense.
11-9, Cape now out in front of the Bucks here on the road in round 1. A minute to go in the first. Dom Wyatt able to get downhill.
That's Dom Wyatt at his best. Little change of pace, controls the ball, attacks the gap, gets to the basket and can score, and he's also a terrific free throw shooter.
Clemens gets the steal. Now the Bucks racing the other way. 5-on-5 as Clemens gets inside, leaves it for Robinson. Good defense underneath by Cape. Once again, Tolson providing those active hands. Already has a few blocks, and he's causing some havoc defensively underneath.
Cape's man-to-man. They don't play a lot of help, but they are going to gather in the lane if there is a penetrator. And Clemens got away, I think, with a walk there with that extended Euro step. Tried to drop it off to Robinson, but Tolson's hands are very quick right at the moment.
Under a minute to go, 11-11 here from Caravel. White back into the ball game, a quick breather. Wanted Webster to cut on the back door on the baseline. He was not there. He was out on the perimeter, and it's going to be a turnover.
And that sometimes is a problem when you've got a young player like Webster. You're not used to necessarily getting all the reps with the starters. Wyatt drives. He's looking for the drop-off on the baseline. Webster was rolling out to the corner.
And then Ryan Black anticipates that one, and now he'll lead the break. Wyatt, one of the best finishers at the rim in the state, and another bucket in transition.
Ryan Black was starting early in the year. He's a really good three-point shooter, but nice job there distributing the ball after the steal.
Another turnover here. Ryan Black, corner three. Was halfway down, but falls out, and now it's Zimmerman who's going to keep it, put it on the floor, and try to go coast to coast. Stripped from behind by Robinson. Loose ball's up for grabs. It's going to be Leggins at the buzzer, and that one falls short. But an action-packed first quarter here in Bear from Caravel Academy. 24, Cape Henlopen taking on 9, the Caravel Bucks. And Caravel holding a 2-point lead, 13-11 after one. Coach, what did you see in the first?
Well, both teams, I think, were a little tight. 6 turnovers for Cape, 5 turnovers for Caravel. A number of those turnovers led immediately to baskets. Wyatt's now starting to get into rhythm where he can drive and attack. Cape's got to do a little bit better job of cutting off the driving lanes. And offensively, I think they need to be a little bit more selective in some of their early shots against this Caravel man-to-man.
We're just going to stay right here at the end of the first. No commercial break. I'm sure everyone at home appreciates that. You get to hear us talk for a few more minutes, Coach. But a lot of games underway. Some sold-out contests tonight around the state of Delaware. We had a nice show last night previewing some of the bracket and the matchups, potential matchups. And this is certainly a good one here between Caravel and Cape Henlopen. But some other great games around the state. A sold-out contest between Conrad and Mount Pleasant, as well as some other big matchups as well. There are 4 sold-out contests today. Again, Sean Green tweeting that out earlier. So everybody's heading out. Archmere at Dover sold out. Coach Hodson at St. George's sold out. Tatnall Polytech sold out. And, of course, Cape making the big trip up here to Bear, Delaware. So a shout-out to all the Viking fans listening from down in Lewis.
Well, Cape Henlopen, for all their sports, travel extremely well. That's a really great spot down there. I think Stephen Ray's done a terrific job with that program, and it's really nice to see them in the playoffs, up on the road, and with their good fan following.
Miles White lets that three fly off of the screen. No good, and that one sails out of play. Last touched by Clemens and the Bucks, so a miss to start the quarter here, and Cape will take back over. It's Trammell, Leggins, Zimmerman, Tolson, and Shell back into the game. Makai Carmen showing off the defensive ability, and one for Makai Carmen, who does it both himself, the steal, and then able to finish on the other side.
Carmen's in because of his defense, and there he was. He makes the steal off of the lob pass against their three-quarter court pressure, which you've got to be very careful about passes. Carmen is very anticipatory, did a great job of then attacking, getting to the basket. So right now it's Caravel's defense has really bothered Cape Henlopen. That was the 7th turnover for Cape Henlopen early on here in the second quarter.
We apologize for the camera issues in and out. I know something going on here with the court, I believe. I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll get that straight away here at the half. But 7:33 in ticket. 16-11. Caravel back out in front by 5. And there's our first foul out on the perimeter today, as Miles White took a reach, I believe, from Leggins. That'll be a second if it is on him, but, or excuse me, that's going to go on Miles White.
So far the officials, Adam Gines, Tom Whiteley, and David Dill have done a nice job from board 11, keeping this game under control.
Makai Carmen comes up with another steal off of the tip pass by Wyatt. Now Caravel going to settle. Nice crossover by White, gets inside and able to finish with contact from Jacob Shell. Miles White has his 3rd bucket of the first half.
Miles White is a really versatile scorer. He can do it in a variety of ways. That time a wonderful crossover and then a quick penetration. Cape's got to do a better job with their help defense, and obviously with their 9th turnover, take better care of the ball.
Timeout on the floor from the Vikings. 18-11 as Caravel now regain the lead and now lead by 7. So a run here for the Bucks has them back out in front with a minute into the second quarter. So you look at the scoring here, Dom Wyatt doing a heck of a lot of it here in the first half for Caravel. He's got 9 points. Miles White has 6 off of 3 field goals. Makai Carmen the other bucket. And then you look over, it was Tolson with the first 5 points for Cape Henlopen to open up the game. Leggins followed with the next 4. But the offense a little bit stagnant as Caravel's defense causing some problems towards the tail end of that first quarter and here to start the second.
Well, what's interesting, the 7-point lead by Caravel has really been set up by their defense. They're not known for that, though I like it. They are aggressive, they're long, they're very athletic, can make a lot of plays in that pressure back to man-to-man. Interesting, with this 7-point lead, Clemens has not scored yet.
And at some point, you know what's going to come. So we'll see. Here's White. He's been getting downhill and does it again, this time from the left side of the floor. He's finding his way to the cup rather easily here in the first half.
White's been attacking Drew Zimmerman on the left and right side. They've just got to give Zimmerman some help.
Zimmerman throws that one away into the hands of Clemens, who tries to leak it up ahead for Wyatt. Wyatt, a little Euro step inside, finishes with ease. He's into double digits.
Caravel terrific in transition. They share the ball well. They look up the court. Their passing's been superb.
And this is causing some issues here for the Vikings. This pressure here to start the second quarter. Another turnover for Cape. There's Clemens inside, and he gets the finish. And this defense, Coach, as you mentioned, is really key this big run.
It's certainly the difference. And I think Stephen Ray needs another timeout. They need to get better organized, make sure they're having crisp passes, because right now it's playing into Caravel's hands.
It's going to lead to an easy bucket this time. Caravel's been aggressive that time. Too aggressive, leads to an open bucket underneath. Good vision from Tolson to find Shell.
And Caravel doesn't mind that. I mean, they prefer, obviously, not to give up a layup against their defense, but they want to keep this pressure on. They're trying to speed the game up. And right now this game's being played at Caravel's tempo.
Catch and shoot from the side pocket for John Clemens. And on cue, Coach, we said it was going to come. He's got the last 5 for the Bucks.
Well, I think you said it was going to come, but he got himself started by a great layup attacking the basket.
Once again, another steal. Wyatt is going to finish that every time. And an absolute huge run. And there's the timeout you're looking for. And, Coach, Caravel doing what they do best. We know they like to get out and run. They're trapping. They're putting some pressure in the backcourt, a little bit of press. And they're forcing a ton of steals here in the second quarter, and they're turning those right into points.
12 turnovers for Cape, turning into at least 14 points. The attack of the basket, they've had some isolations in their man-to-man as well. They've been getting to the rim more than Cape can afford. They've got to do a better job helping, cutting off driving lanes. If they hit a couple threes, that's what you've got up, but you got to give up. But if you allow Caravel to dictate the tempo, to spread you and attack you off the dribble, it's going to be a long night here for Cape.
29-13, Caravel up by 16. I believe 11-9 lead for Cape Henlopen back in the first quarter. And Caravel, again, using that defense to key this big run. They lead the largest of the evening so far at 16. And, of course, we welcome you all into Delaware Live Sports, the first round of your boys' high school state tournament underway tonight across the board, up and down the state. Nick Alessandrini alongside Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, and Mike Lang. So it's going to be a fun tournament, Coach. I know we talked about it last night on the bracket breakdown. If you missed that, you can head over to the YouTube channel and check it out, where we break down every matchup here in the tournament. Another trap here near half court, and Cape lucky to escape without a turnover.
Strategically right now, Cape is making some mistakes. They're attacking this 2-2-1 press on the side. That leads to immediately a trap right in the worst part when you're across the timeline. Nowhere else to go with it, because if you throw it backwards, it's going to be a 10-second or a backcourt violation. So right now, really, this defense has dictated the tempo here by Caravel.
Tolson lost the ball. Carmen tried to draw the charge, doesn't get the call, and then Tolson able to finish again. He's got 7 here in half number 1.
This officiating crew's done a nice job. They're letting the kids play. I thought that was the right no call there. He only attacked about a quarter of his shoulder, resulted in the nice play by Tolson to get Cape back on the board after that 16-2 run by Caravel.
Yeah, good call there, Coach. 16-2. Here's White. Has been unstoppable when he's put the ball on the floor tonight. That one too strong, but Carmen doing what he does, defense and rebounding. Clemens wants 3, short. But another chance, third here for Caravel. Clemens going to get a foul inside. But again, Cape Henlopen struggling here in the first half. You got to keep the Bucks off the glass, especially now trailing 29-15.
Boy, I love the play of Makai Carmen. He knows his role. He's doing it perfectly at the moment. Plays good defense, helps on that pressure, converts when he has the opportunity, but he's doing a terrific job on the offensive glass. 2 consecutive offensive rebounds, kickouts for good-looking shots. I think he's really been playing well.
First free throw up and through for the senior Clemens, coming in averaging just a tick under 18 points per game Phenomenal defender as well. Knocks them both down. And he's got 7 here. As quickly as a few moments ago had none. Cape unable to finish. That time was Dylan Fannin.
Well, Fannin completely out of control, glides in, loses control of the ball. You need to, especially when your team's down, you need to jump stop, you need to go up vertically and either make the shot or get the foul. That time just overly aggressive attacking the rim.
Webster back in the game, the freshman for Caravel. It's Clemens, Webster, Robinson, Wyatt, and White. Here he is, going to drive with the left hand, couldn't finish. Owen Robinson, he's able to put it back up and through. He's like the garbage man for the Caravel Buccaneers. He kills on the offensive glass. Coach Tobin was real excited to get him back from the football team here a little bit later in the year. And then Tolson just as quickly able to answer.
Tolson's got a great feel for the game. He sized up the opportunity to drive along the right baseline and finished with his left hand. A very creative player, but going back to Robinson, I love, he's like Carmen. He knows exactly what he has to do to help his team win, and he fulfills that role.
33-17, Caravel lead. Wyatt, kick to the corner. White wants 3, and he's got it.
Well, when Wyatt has the ball, he's obviously going to draw attention, but it's very difficult if he splits to help off of the corner.
Good defense by Robinson. Should be a jump ball, and that's what it will be, as Tolson tried to hop step inside and find some room. But it'll stay
did a
here.
Great job there, Nick, of going straight up against the attack. Gave up a little bit of ground. No foul call. I thought it was a great call, and then getting the jump ball.
Tolson to inbound, gets it into Zimmerman in the corner. He'll let it fly, short on the 3 attempt. Rebound tipped off the hands of Robinson. And now back to the Vikings for another opportunity. Wyatt almost took it away, but it'll stay here.
Cape's just out of sync right now. Some of these long-range shots have not been successful when they've had some drives. They've missed some layups. Their handling of the ball has been questionable. They've got to really settle down. I think Stephen Ray needs to get to halftime and keep this game within, say, 14 points.
Tolson inbounds back to Zimmerman here. 3:08 to go and a 19-point lead for the Bucks. Tolson just trying to get inside, out of control, loses it, and that shot's blocked by Webster. And Cape just got to tighten things up here a little bit. It's going to lead to another Wyatt 3. That one short from the same spot he made it from a few moments ago, but going to stay down that side.
Well, White is really in rhythm. He feels very confident shooting that shot, and then he followed it up, and actually his aggressiveness, hustling after his miss, resulted in the ball going off of Cape and Caravel maintaining possession.
That's right, Coach. Nobody knows where that shot's going better than the shooter. And a nice feed from Clemens. Robinson couldn't complete the no-look bucket underneath. Would have given Clemens a nice assist there. Tolson to Zimmerman, who was left wide open underneath on the block.
At times, Caravel has to figure out when they're going to transition from their pressure to their man-to-man. That time Zimmerman was left alone. A little bit of miscommunication there defensively by Caravel. One of their few mistakes defensively here tonight so far.
Wyatt showing off the handles. Pull-up jumper is pure for Miles White, and a heck of a first half for number 13.
He's been terrific. As we mentioned earlier, he's their 3rd scorer, but he doesn't look like it right now.
Zimmerman drives, feeds underneath, and a good finish by Potemski, his 2nd field goal of the first half.
Potemski's got wonderful hands. That was a tough catch there. A nice creative pass by Zimmerman, but a good play by Potemski, then getting his body under control and making the layup against length of Clemens.
White kicks to Clemens. Ball tipped away, and Tolson once again almost coming up with the steal, throws it off the back of Robinson. Initially called a Caravel ball, but then after a quick discussion, you saw the displeasure on the face of Tolson, who probably thought it was last touched by the Bucks. Turns out he was right.
Sometimes the officials maybe don't get it right initially, but then they make the correction. This crew's done a nice job here this evening so far.
Very quick correction that time, and it was the right call. They've done a great job. Tolson with a minute and a half. Lets White go by, pulls up, and knocks it down.
Boy, Tolson has really been impressive. That was a terrific move, and then he stopped so quickly that he lost White, and he was able to make that mid-range shot.
11 points for Tolson in the first half. Wyatt, little hesitation, will pull things back out with a minute 14 and ticking.
Talk about a quick ball handler. There's nobody quicker than Dom Wyatt.
White, how about the right-hand floater fading away? Would have been a tough shot, doesn't go, and now here come the Vikings. Kick, Zimmerman, room to fire, and no good. Would have been a big shot there. Rebound to the freshman Webster.
Well, Cape is fighting back. I didn't mind that shot, even though nobody was under for Cape, but Zimmerman, that's the shot from the deep corner.
Clock ticking, under a minute to go here in half number one between Caravel and Cape. Caravel getting that 9 seed. Black, corner three is long into the hands of Zimmerman. Zimmerman just going to put it on the floor, coast to coast, and able to get it up and in.
I didn't love the shot at the other end because it was too quick. That allowed Zimmerman to get the run out. Zimmerman's kind of willed them back in with some good passing, etc. There's some fouls to give here, so I think Cape is going to make it difficult for Caravel to get off that last shot. Now, Caravel clearly should play for the last shot.
26 seconds to go after the whistle and the foul on Jaden Dukes, the sophomore for Cape Henlopen. His first, team's fourth. Caravel with just one foul here as a team in the first half.
Pretty amazing you could play that good a defense in creating 12 turnovers with only one foul.
It was the start of that second quarter that really got the Bucks going. White has had the hot hand as of late. Kicks it back out to Wyatt, and there you go, Coach probably will hold, at least for the second drive. Bone wasn't ready for the dish, but he gets it back, hits Miles White, off the rim, no good. 5 seconds, but a shot here for Caravel. And Dom Wyatt slipping over there in the far corner, and now Cape maybe with a shot to get a shot off here with 3.5 to go.
Even if they don't, that's a mistake by Caravel. They need to let the clock run down, get under 5 seconds, make the attack, shoot it with around 3, where the other team has no opportunity to get a run out, and you might, though you shouldn't even worry about it, have an offensive rebound opportunity.
2 seconds, they get it in. That shot's up from Trammell at the buzzer, won't fall. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. Caravel led by as many as 19. They lead here by 13 at the break, 38-25. Coach, what stood out to you there in half number one?
The 12 turnovers by Cape against that Caravel pressure really spelled the doom in that 16-2 run at the start of the second quarter. Too many layups, too many close-in shots by Caravel, so Cape's defense has really got to tighten up. At the defensive end, Caravel has just really created a lot of havoc, forced Cape to play very fast. They need to battle back, but I did like that last run. Zimmerman brought the team back to get him within striking distance. Down 13, at least they have a chance. Had it expanded up into 20, would have been a very difficult proposition. But Cape's tough. They battled back. They played a very difficult schedule. They've got a veteran coach. Let's see what adjustments they make at halftime. If Caravel continues to dictate the pace and get to the basket as often as they have, they're going to be tough to beat here tonight.
Number 24, Cape, and number 9, Caravel. 13-point lead for the home Buccaneers as we head to the break. We'll be right back with second half action here at your DIAA Basketball Boys State Tournament on Delaware Live Sports.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes. Whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals,
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fanwear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon.
Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris. I would always...
And welcome back inside Caravel Academy. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, Mike Lang now joining us on stage. Again, we apologize for some of the camera difficulties we had there in the first half. We switched up cords. We had to move the camera here next to us on the stage, so a different vantage point for everybody at home. But we are just happy to be up and running for a fun second half of playoff basketball. Coach, 38-25. Caravel has a double-digit lead, and it all started with that big run to tail end of the first, start of the second, and they did it with the defense.
They certainly did, and it was all 5 players. They got some great play from their bench. Robinson came in and did a terrific job, and Carmen, who started this game, normally comes off the bench. I thought he was very instrumental with his defense, his team, his hustle, and some scoring around the basket. But, of course, Miles White was really the story in the first half, along with Wyatt. They were both terrific attacking the basket, being opportunistic in the press, and taking advantage of a number of Cape Henlopen mistakes. Cape's just got to handle the pressure much better, be organized, take their time, get a good shot. I did like that little mini run at the end of the half to at least get this game within a possibility of recovery.
Tom Wyatt with 13 first half points for Caravel, and Miles White had 13 as well. So both of those your leading scorers for Caravel. White, nice feed inside to Carmen to get the second half started. Tries to go up with it, takes some contact, and a tough finish for Makai Carmen.
Carmen really played with great patience, as if he's been under the basket his whole career. Did a nice job there on the drop-off pass from White.
And there's another steal. Caravel picking up where they left off. White fakes the pass, couldn't finish. Rebound off the miss goes to John Clemens. And now it's underneath, and that is going to be a foul as Clemens tried to go up and took a reach that time by Shell and Trammell. So some free throws coming up for Caravel.
I think they're going to have it out underneath. They called it on the floor, but Clemens is really tough. He's very strong in his forearms and his hands to recover that loose ball.
Wyatt on the inbound off of the screen. This time it'll be a shooting foul.
Caravel runs 3 or 4 really good out-of-bounds underneath plays, especially against man-to-man. When you scout them, and we had to play them earlier in the year, they are really tough to prepare for because they do so many different things, and they have a lot of creativity. That time, White coming off of a double screen up high, gets the pass from Clemens, and then gets fouled attacking the basket. Credit Mark Tobin and his staff for a variety of really nice out-of-bounds plays.
Wyatt hits the first free throw. 14 now for Dom in the game, and a nice turnout from the Caravel student section there, setting there at midcourt. As Wyatt will line up free throw number 2. An interesting stat we received from assistant coach Karen Lang this morning. Second one rims out, as Caravel's played 12 of the 24 teams. So 50% of the tournament Caravel has played this year. 12-4 in those games. Tolson, straightaway 3, just missing. And a heck of a first half for Tolson. A bright spot for Cape. Wyatt, a little hesitation, changes speeds, and is able to finish at the rim. He is so good once he gets downhill.
Wyatt's first step is so quick.
And there's another steal. Clemens Euros inside. A hard shot from Tolson as he was looking for the double dribble, but instead some free throws coming up for Clemens.
I wanted to go back to Dominic Wyatt. That first step in his quickness, he is electric getting to the basket, and then he does a great job with body angles, arm angles, knows when to release it. He's a great finisher against height.
Able to knock down the free throw. So Caravel, again, they are battle tested. They've got 3 of the best scorers, and when they're on, they're a tough team to beat. And they are, of course, a 71.5% free throw shooting team.
Clemens a terrific free throw shooter, as is Wyatt.
Again, some of this little bit of half-court pressure there, and once again, another steal. Things unraveling. Bone behind the back and able to finish.
I think Cape needs another timeout.
They can't seem to get the ball past half-court or even into the offensive set on their side of the floor, as the defense from Caravel's been too much, and that time they get it to the big fella, Jacob Schell. He finds his second field goal.
A nice penetration by Hitchcock to get into the lane, and then a quick drop off. If you can beat their pressure, you probably need to do it more through the middle than the sides.
Wyatt drives, kicks, White, 3 off the rim, but Carmen, once again, another second chance created.
Boy, Carmen is so active, he's so athletic. He just helps his team in so many different ways. A terrific offensive rebound and then saving it to Wyatt.
Wyatt crosses over. How about that, English? Falling away with the right hand on the left side. Able to get that one to roll off the glass and through.
That underneath scoop shot is really becoming important to a lot of players' games. You have to be really creative with your arm angle.
Schell back to Zimmerman, who's caught underneath. He'll kick it back out. It's going to lead to a shot in the corner, away short off the hands of Hitchcock. Another rebound for Clemens. And Caravel in the driver's seat here halfway into the third quarter, a 49-27 lead.
I know when you're down 22, you feel like you have to get it back right away, but I think Cape Henlopen really has to work the ball inside. They've really never posted up the entire game, and that would be their advantage with their bigs.
Tolson tried to pull the chair out underneath Clemens that time. He'll get called for the reach. He didn't like it. Again, he was trying to set up Clemens there and pulled the chair out. Clemens hit the deck, but he'll get called for the wraparound. Got a piece of him, I believe, maybe pulled him down to the ground.
Well, sometimes that's all that's left to do, especially if the other player, in this case Clemens, gets great position inside. You just can't let players get posted up so deep.
Here's Bone. They'll feed Clemens. He was the inbounder, able to get it back, and that's light work underneath for John Clemens. A big height advantage for number 2 in White.
Well, Clemens can score from the outside, the free throw line, but he's really good at posting up, and a terrific pass there by Zane Bone.
Almost another turnover for Cape. Hitchcock able to pick it off the ground, go baseline, too strong. The putback, though, off the hands of Potemski is up and through. So a timeout after the bucket by Potemski. He's got 6 now for Cape. And after timeout, 51-29, Caravel still out in control.
Another terrific start to a quarter by Caravel. It's been really done by their defense. They have been exquisite in their pressure. They've been opportunistic, and then they've been able to score in the open court, creating some more turnovers. 3 here at the start of the first 3 minutes for Cape Henlopen. So that's probably going to be the story if Caravel continues to play like they're doing. You can ill afford to give them a whole lot of extra possessions. You can't give them open, free lanes to drive, which they've taken advantage of throughout the evening. And now Clemens is starting to get a little bit more involved in the offense, especially down low, and that's a really dangerous combination.
Let's take a look around the state, get you some scores from some of the other playoff matchups here tonight. Again, the madness getting started a day early. March kicks off tomorrow, but February 28th, the playoffs are underway. Out over at Conrad between the 17-seeded Mount Pleasant Green Knights and the 16-seeded Conrad Red Wolves. They have got a battle, 25-24 as the two teams head into the locker room. Jalen Horsey, coach, 5 threes in that first half for the Red Wolves as a part of that 25-24 lead.
Well, we know that Conrad loves the three-point shot, and Horsey is a terrific shooter, and you can ill afford to let him go off. Credit to Chris Cornell for really knowing how to get his team going. But with 5 threes from Horsey and they're only up 1, I had a feeling that Mount Pleasant team was going to be tough. I still think Conrad is probably a little bit better at home, but boy, what a good effort by Mount Pleasant.
Dover over Archmere 18-12 at the half. 29-15 Poly over Tadnall, and Friends over Del Castle 30-15. The other couple of matchups, no updates from around the state. Here's Clemens, hop step floater with the right hand, no good. Webster has the miss, then he puts it right back through, fading away on the baseline.
Webster's got a lot of maturity in my mind for a freshman. He's long, he's a lefty, he's athletic. He does a lot of really good things around the basket and a really fine defender.
Here's Trammell. 53-29 lead here for Caravel, your 9 seed. And an anticipation from Wyatt. Another steal for Caravel, an easy 2 for Dom Wyatt. And no, you don't like to see that, as Wyatt landed awkwardly after the layup, but he does look to be okay. The miss on the other end for the 3 off the hands of Trammell.
Hard to say what happened to Wyatt, but they clearly need him, and I think they need a timeout here.
Robinson lost it underneath, kind of lost his footing. Turning into a little bit of a track meet here. This one picked up by Dukes. There's a quick whistle. That'll slow things down, and Black already at the scores table. As he will get a breather, he'll head right to the bench. And again, you said it, Dom Wyatt has been so impressive today. He's got 16 all season, one of the best point guards in the state of Delaware, and just landed awkwardly after that finish in transition after the layup.
Wyatt's got great body control when he finishes. Usually he comes down and lands very quietly and softly. That time he may have just caught the edge of his shoe as he came down. I'm not going to predict. He is walking it out right now, and this Caravel training staff obviously going to give him a lot of attention.
55-29. Tolson been quiet in the second half. That 3 off the mark. What a start it was, though, for Tolson early on in the first quarter for Cape. But it's been tough going since about the halfway or end to that first quarter. White splits the defense, layup, up and in.
Just not enough help on these one-on-one situations by Cape Henlopen. They've got to do a much better job of defending the rim.
Hitchcock open in the corner. His 3 doesn't go, and then a loose ball foul against Ryan Black as he was battling for the rebound over there on the far side. I think he was going at it over there, I believe, with Lamar McCoy.
Well, Black did a good job there. He did not have great position, but he wasn't going to allow the putback. Take the foul on the floor on a block out.
Cape on the inbound, set it up nicely. The inbound fade to Trammell, and he finds his first field goal. Lead to 26.
Good movement off the ball by Cape Henlopen. Stephen Ray's a veteran coach. He's got a lot of things in his portfolio to run against them. They just need to get slowed down here and see if they can't whittle it back by the end of this quarter.
Here's White trying to stay hot over to the freshman Webster with 2:40 now. Robinson trying to feed it to Clemens. Off of his chest, but fortunately for the Bucks, off of a finger or at least some part of a body of a Viking. They'll stay down here, and a good sign if you're a Caravel fan. Dom Wyatt right back into the scores table.
Now, how about a great sign? I was really worried about that from Caravel's perspective, but Wyatt, very limber athlete, got great care over there on the sideline. He's back in.
Nice feed to Owen Robinson, and a good entry, and Robinson does the rest.
Boy, Robinson has been terrific off the bench. His yeoman work on the boards and his ability to finish inside have really helped key this additional run here in the second half.
A foul on the drive. This will be team foul number 4 and the 3rd against Miles White.
Probably the only thing bad that's happened for Caravel White with a couple of loose fouls.
The inbound is a 3, and that's canned by Damian Robinson, the sophomore, trying to provide a little bit of a spark here for Cape.
Stephen Ray going to his bench. He's got to find a combination that takes better care of the ball and can make a few of these shots.
Again, Cape really playing some great basketball down the stretch of that regular season. This was a matchup here at 24-9. A lot of people didn't have a great feel for. Obviously, Caravel, the 9 seed, playing a lot of tournament teams. But this was a matchup that you might want to say toss-up, but close to that. When we talked about it at the show last night, you talked to some other people around the state. Cape was a team with a 24 seed that really isn't a 24 seed, right? They play a tough schedule. They've beaten some good teams. And I'm sure Caravel, when they got the bracket, they saw Cape Henlopen's the 24. Maybe not the best matchup for us in the first round, but they've really answered the call here at home.
Well, they had played some tournament teams really tough. Poly, they only lost by 5. Apo by 6. Lake Forest by 4. The great Middletown team lost by 13. They did lose to Dover by a few more points than that. And then Poly lost by 10. Their best win was against Dover at home, a 2-point victory there against a really good Dover team. So this is a team that came out of the Henlopen North, maybe just a little underachieving, but still a very difficult schedule, and they've got a lot of good players, and they're just unfortunately not being able to take care of the ball against this Caravel pressure has been their undoing.
Tattle making a little bit of run on Polytech. They trail 35-27 now at the end of the third, so an 8-point lead for the Panthers. Caravel can't get that one to fall, and now Cape going to lead the break. And then a quick whistle. I believe they'll get Dom Wyatt with a reach. His first.
Well, that was the first turnover, Nick, of the half by Caravel there on that little scoop pass inside that Owen Robinson could not handle. But they've really played efficiently and effectively with their pressure, with their ability to get to the basket and finish, and their control of their defensive backboard.
59-34, a minute 41 and ticking here in the third quarter between Caravel and Cape Henlopen. Wyatt pokes it out from behind, will stay here.
Well, that's one thing as a ball handler. When you have a defender like Wyatt that's very clever, he lets you go by. You've got to expect the back tap. You've got to cover the ball up with your body and then attack. And then if that happens, you've got numbers.
Update here in a moment. The inbound back to Robinson coming off of that corner three, but the defense for Caravel strikes again. Another forced turnover, a steal for that Buccaneer D.
Now, Caravel in this situation, they'll spread the court. They'll run some off-the-ball screening action. But this is when they're really tough because if you extend on Caravel, they have 3 or 4 players that can drive it.
Here's White, able to beat Zimmerman off the dribble. Couldn't finish with the floater inside. Tolson pulls away the board. Tolson, Hopstead splitting defenders, trying to find the highlight. Wanted the call, didn't get it. Wyatt tries to cross over on Zimmerman, and now they'll reset it back out as we tick under a minute.
Well, Tolson's really been the bright spot along with Potemski for Cape Henlopen. Just missed a tough shot there, but he's been playing very hard.
Miles White makes the nice pass into the corner to the open Black, who couldn't hit Wyatt with the rebound, and now they'll reset with 44 seconds to go in the third. Wyatt, back up top, they'll be patient.
And I think they'll probably hold here. I know Mark Tobin would like them to, whether or not they have the capability of doing it, but this is the right strategy. 5 out, make Cape extend. Maybe they'll foul here. You're not in the 1-on-1 yet. You have the lead in the ball.
Under 25 now to go in the third, and they're going to do exactly that. As Miles White with 15 points. And I believe we have a 5-second call. And that'll
White
turn it over.
never attempted to go to the basket. He was just dribbling laterally, and a good job by Cape Henlopen to get the 5-second call. Again, one of the few mistakes by Caravel here in the second half, handling the ball. That's their 9th turnover overall, only 2nd of the half.
You said it. Not a lot of mistakes to point out for the Caravel Bucks. They've had almost a flawless performance here in round 1. Trammell lost it into the corner. It goes. That's buried by the sophomore Jaden Dukes. And giving some Cape some life at the buzzer there at the end of the third quarter. The first bucket for the sophomore Dukes. So a 3 there, the third 3 of the game for Cape Henlopen, but Caravel still out in front. 59-37, so we're going to stay right here again, coaches. We're going to go over some of the scores from around the state. An update from down at Dover. 3 minutes to go in the third. A 20-17 lead for the Senators over the Hawks, who were giving Dover all they can handle here on the road. They wanted to keep it low scoring in that one, and they've done that so far.
Well, that was Archmere and my team's only real chance. You go on the road against a superior Dover team who's really been playing well. You've just got to keep the score down. You hope that you can keep it close, and maybe they make a few mistakes. But that Dover team is really tough, and I applaud Billy Ludlow, Nick Santa, the coaches down there, and the players have done a nice job so far with the game plan.
Again, holding Dover to 20 there deep into the third quarter. That's a heck of a job by that Archmere defense. Dover can light it up, especially Hakeem Harrell, excuse me.
Oh, boy.
Coming off a 50-point performance as well. That's right. They've got a lot of talent. I had a chance to talk to Coach Wilson yesterday, and he was excited to get another playoff run going. And, you know, it was just a few years ago, Coach, Dover was in that state championship game that we called, I believe, back a couple years back. And what a gym. They've got a nice facility down there as well, one of the best.
It's a hard place to go play. It's sold out. They have a great following down there, so anytime you go on the road to Dover, it is a very difficult a place to play. Steph Wilson, the veteran coach, has been there a long time.
Well, we just got another update, Coach. There was 3 minutes to go when we had that one. So at the end of the third, 24-22, Archmere has stolen the lead through 3 quarters as they go to the fourth. So the Hawks with a 24-22 lead as they begin fourth quarter action down in Dover. So back to the game at hand here in front of us, 5 seconds into the fourth. Caravel still way out in front, and how about another steal? This time it's Clemens, and now Caravel going to maybe slow things down for maybe the remainder of the contest here. And the biggest goal now, Coach, here, you're up by 22 at home. You're advancing to the second round here, barring a miracle as we have a steal from Zimmerman. And he's able to find a bucket that time as Zimmerman has 6.
Zimmerman, the senior, has played very hard. He's had a great season, had some knee issues, I believe, lower body issues early in the year, but he's a key component for this Stephen Ray team. He runs the ball club. He's an excellent shooter, and I just think his experience is really important for Cape Henlopen.
Inside out, Clemens back to White, who's going to take Zimmerman. They'll work it around, and as I was saying earlier, you might advance here. You want to get out of the game healthy. That's the biggest thing. Nice feed into Makai Carmen, and he'll head to the line for 2. But Caravel just still looks incomplete rhythm here into the fourth quarter, and they're going to have a chance to extend this 20-point lead.
Caravel does a lot of really good things, and one of the aspects of their game I've always liked, they share the ball very well. They've got 3 or 4 guys that can score. They're not necessarily worried about who is getting the points that night. Wyatt's a great scorer, but he's also a really good distributor. Clemens is a good passer. White's a willing distributor. So when you have your leading scorers that are also willing to pass and facilitate their teammates, it's got to be really fun to play. Carmen here, a recipient of a really nice pass. And this Caravel team's tough. They can score. They can play really good defense. They share the ball. And they've got some outstanding explosive scorers.
3 into double digits, and it's the big 3 for the Caravel Buccaneers. Wyatt with 16, White with 15, and Clemens with 11. But again, as Coach mentioned, it's been the defense, though, that's really key to this performance. Tolson, hesitation, will launch the 3. And a rebound to Tom Wyatt, who brings it up the floor.
Caravel's done a really nice job of controlling their defensive glass, and there's Wyatt. He's just so savvy and smart. He realized that Cape had not gotten back and was not organized. He attacks. He's really great at finishing around the basket.
Another steal. Carmen comes up with it, but Coach Tobin makes the right call. You know, that's a good call to call a timeout there. He didn't know he was going to pull it out as you see John Clemens in front of us. He wanted that dunk in transition after the steal, but also lost in the pile there is Makai Carmen slow to get up.
I'm wondering if they're going to rule that he didn't have possession.
So we just got word from Jason here to our left. They called a technical on the dunk from Clemens after the timeout from Coach Tobin. It was a tie-up. Makai Carmen hit the deck. It was almost going to be a jump ball. Coach Tobin called timeout. Carmen lofts it ahead, ended up getting possession to Clemens, who dunked it after the whistle, I believe. It was a bang-bang play there.
They're going to call a delay of game, and that's why they're going to rule that the dunk was delaying the game and the technical.
Free throw was up and in for Jaden Dukes. So we'll have another one on the way and knocks them both down.
Well, that's probably one Mark Tobin might talk about, but he's probably not going to be too worried about Clemens just following through. Now, as a player, you want to make sure that you don't do anything to upset the game and get the officials looking the other way. And I think that was not necessarily a bad play by Clemens, just probably the correct call by the officials to get it under control. Good job going to the floor, though, by Caravel and creating another potential loose ball situation.
And now the officials having a word with Cape Henlopen over there in the huddle. Not sure what that is about. We have another score update, Coach. How about this one? Mount Pleasant on the road. They've got a nice lead now over Conrad as they're coming down the wire. 1:37 to go, a 9.45 to 36 lead. How about that for the Mount Pleasant Green Knights, who I believe lost to Conrad by 20
They lost
earlier
by
in
20
the season.
earlier in the year. You're exactly right. I saw them against Glasgow in the last game of the season. This is something I've seen building. They're very well coached. They played extremely hard. They've got the 2 bigs I talked about.
Yes.
And then they've got Sidbury, who is a really great finisher.
Yeah, Ronnie Ponce, Anthony Sidbury, that team looking good today. As Conrad has been impressive all year as well. And they were at home. That was a good matchup. Here's Trammell. Bounce pass to the corner. Dukes lost it. Another steal for the Bucks. Clemens to Wyatt, around the back to Clemens, up and through, and Caravel putting on a clinic in round 1 of the state tournament.
Wyatt could have scored there, but he gives it up to his buddy Clemens, running the rim straight down and finishes over top of the basket.
Zimmerman to answer, short Makai Carmen, another board. And still 5.5 to go, 24-point lead for the Buccaneers.
Nick, this has really been a complete effort here by Caravel. They've done it at both ends. They've shared the ball. Their scorers have gotten involved. Their bench has been solid. I think Carmen really showed me a lot tonight. Got that start in a big game, and I thought his performance was terrific.
A whistle out near half court. Another score update. This one from Wilmington Friends. They were up 37 to 15, or excuse me, 37 to 15 over Del Castle. The Cougars on an 8-0 run, so they're trying to get back into it late in the third, but Friends leading 37 to 23 late into the third quarter at the home of the Quakers.
Somebody asked me who I thought the dark horse would be in this tournament, and I said Wilmington Friends. Their draw, they had to get Del Castle at home, then they were going to have to go over to Tower Hill, but you know, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, especially a good team. That Robbie Tattersall, not only is he a great football player, he's a terrific basketball player, does so much for his team. His brother's a three-point shooter. They've got great height. Colin Heron, Hudson Zawakis, I'll tell you what, they are going to give Tower Hill a real battle.
And that shot there in and out for Zimmerman. That's kind of summed up the night it's been for Cape Henlopen. And that one just rolls out. Can't catch a break here shooting-wise, but again, it's been the defense, the activeness on that side of the floor for Caravel. That was last touch by Clemens. So back to Cape Henlopen. That's right, you talked about Robbie Tattersall. We head to Yale next year. He'll be taking his talents to the Ivy League.
Yeah, what a great spot for him. I mean, he's a wonderful kid. Obviously, I know him well, and I've coached him for 4 years. I'm very close to the family, but he is one of those guys that you really want to root for. He just plays the game the right way. I'm talking about basketball now. He got in foul trouble against Tower Hill in their last, not their last game of the season, but their next to last game of the season, and you wouldn't have known it. He ran off the court at halftime. He was very great on the bench, encouraging his teammates when he got in and got his next foul. No demonstrative nature at all, just plays the game the right way. Let me tell you something, he's a guy that I think everybody would want to play with and every coach would like to coach.
Zane Bone free down the lane. A nice look from Clemens, and Bone with his first bucket, or second bucket, excuse me. And Caravel continuing to dominate here at home. Inside, that one up and rolls in. +1, I believe, for Jacob Schell. He's got 6, a chance to make it 7 at the stripe.
One thing I like about Caravel and what Mark Tobin has done with this team, he gets a lot out of some of their other players, and I like Zane Bone. He really knows what to do. He's long, he's 6'5", he can shoot the 3, but he also is going to defer to the others. He's a junior, but his length is good around the basket. He's a good passer. He's been excellent on defense, so he's really fulfilled his role. He and Carmen and Robinson have really done a great job of doing exactly what they need to do to help the team.
A 10-0 run for the Del Castle Cougars comes to a halt thanks to a slam from Ishmael Dobson to end that run. So a 39-25 game as they head to the fourth quarter. Clemens around the Bone screen, Bone free. Good recovery that time by Colin Civils, who's fresh into the ball game, the junior for the Vikings.
Now, one thing they might want to do as Caravel is get Wyatt out. I don't know the nature of his ankle, but why even take a chance at this juncture?
I agree with you. And here he goes on the baseline, tries to elevate. Couldn't finish, but Clemens right there turning that garbage into gold. Courtesy of Mark Zumoff there, and now under 3 minutes to go, a 71-43 lead. It's been all Caravel here in round 1.
Courtesy of Nick Alessandrini is the way I'm calling it.
I appreciate that, Coach. So Clemens, and now another turnover. Wyatt, a little reverse with the left.
Well, Wyatt's been everywhere. He is very opportunistic. He knows how to finish, can create on either side. He finishes with either hand. He's a terrific player. And one thing we haven't seen tonight, he's a terrific free throw shooter, and especially closing the game out. So when your point guard can do all of those things and yet, in the end, control the ball, get fouled, and go to the free throw line and feel very comfortable, you're in a great spot.
2.5 to go, a 30-point lead for Caravel. And you talk about the big three as Tolson knocks down the free throw. He has been the bright spot. He's got 12 points for the Vikings as there may be a little bit of a curtain call for some of the Buccaneers. White will check back into the ball game. Let's look at the big three, though, here, Coach. Dom Wyatt, 20 points. John Clemens, 19 points. Miles White, 15 points. So there you have it, the big three loading up the scoring. And when the defense has been as good as it is and those three can score like they've been scoring, Caravel's going to be a tough out.
Well, Caravel has the capacity to score in bunches and in runs. They had 86 early in the year against Del Castle in game 1. They had 80 against Tatnall, and then they put 84 here against Polytech. So they certainly have the capabilities of scoring high, but they can also play the game in the 50s and low and high 40s as well. So they're a very versatile team that way.
Webster, he can get going at any time. That one, though, mid-range jumper doesn't fall. Rebound as we hit the 2-minute mark. And we're just hearing from our Glenn Frazier, who's watching the Dover Ox game. He said the Ox have dictated the pace in that one, obviously. They lead 24-22. We talked about that. We'll get an update. We will let you know as we check for some others. So with 5 minutes to go, a 30-28 lead for Dover. So that one is going to come down the wire. So a 2-point, a one-possession game down at the state capitol. That is going to be a fun finish. And that is the last update we have for you so far. Again, Friends up by 14. Mount Pleasant looked as if they were going to get the victory on the road, and no updates from Laurel Woodbridge. As the free throw rolls out.
Well, Stephen Ray has and his team have nothing to worry about. They have some great youth. Tolson will be back. Trammell will be back. Shell will be back. Stephen Ray's doing a great job of building a program down there in his second time back. I really like the way this team plays. They've got some really good athletes, and this will be a disappointing loss for them, but this is a terrific Caravel team, and anytime you go on the road, you've got to be at your best.
And you hear the Caravel crowd, a highlight play off a finish from Zane Bone here as the Bucks showing off the handles. This place is on their feet. An electrifying performance from Caravel. That's inside, and a big bucket for Isaac Chukawara, the freshman, and some of these other guys getting in, and they're going to check the box score, and they're going to see some points next to their name. And then a timeout, Cape Henlopen, is you see the Bucks students, they love it. You see when you get some guys that maybe don't play varsity all year, and now they're going to be able to check in. They're excited to be a part of the state tournament and get in some playoff action.
Well, I think Michael Sheehan, the freshman,
That's
had a
right,
nice little bucket there on that little runner. And entering the game for Caravel is going to be their center in football, Chase Armstrong. His brother went here for a while and then transferred down to Appoquinimink, was a great catcher. He's going to be going to med school. His father, Clarence Armstrong, who played at Chichester, then at Drexel, is one of the top officials in the country in the college basketball. Every time when I'm doing a Delaware game and he comes into our facility down there or when I'm on the road, I'm very happy to see him. A terrific guy, a great official. This area should be very proud. He came through the ranks of high school officiating here in the state of Delaware. He's a great friend, and really nice to see his son, Chase, getting an opportunity to play here tonight.
Shot off the mark for Jordan Thomas, the freshman, into the ball game for Cape Henlopen. Off the glass won't go either. Webster going to haul down the rebound with under a minute to go. So an update as this one coming down the wire. 33-30, Dover over Archmere with 3.5 minutes to go. And there's a big three by Chase Armstrong. Coach on cue.
I haven't seen Clarence here. He may be doing a game tonight somewhere, but that'll be one that will be shown in the family household for a long time.
Chukawara ahead of the pack. How about 2 buckets for him? And the 2 freshmen, or Armstrong, the sophomore, Chukawara, the freshman. They've got the last 7 for Caravel. Jacob Shell adds to his total. He's got 8, and that's going to do it. Clock winding down. 3, 2, 1, and the Caravel Buccaneers advance. Your 9 seed gets a win over the Vikings from Cape Henlopen, your 24 seed, 82-48. and they will move on to the next round.
Caravel really tough tonight, keyed by their defense. Had a great run at the start of the second quarter. Had a great run at the start of the third quarter. Mark Tobin's bench played well. The big three scorers, Wyatt, White, and Clemens, were terrific. I thought they played excellent team ball. Unfortunately for Cape, they came north. They just weren't quite as sharp as they needed to be against that excellent Caravel pressure. They'll be around for a long time. Stephen Ray does a great job. Credit Caravel for really being sharp tonight, getting their team going with defense, and then some terrific play around the basket. This was an outstanding performance by Caravel, a well-earned victory. They're going to be a tough matchup for Sanford.
And just talk a little bit about, and you know, Coach Ty Perry and maybe the Sanford Warriors, the 8 seed, they had a first-round bye. They were probably tuning in, listening to us here on this matchup here against Caravel. They met here a couple weeks or maybe a month ago, a 61-41, a huge victory for Caravel. They dictated the pace in that ball game. Sanford likes to slow it down. Caravel got out and running. So it's going to be a great rematch between those two teams as the Bucks are going to advance. We are going to wait to hear from head coach Mark Tobin, and as well as Dom Wyatt going to join us here again. As we're going to get a chance to talk to him. Dom, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You got me? All right, perfect. Dom, first off, congratulations, man. Another big win. The second time we've had the chance to speak with you after a win here at home. What was kind of the game plan, you know, coming into this one? You're the 9 seed, just outside that first bye range. Cape Henlopen the 24, but not your typical 24, right? A lot of teams talking about this matchup as if they were going to make it competitive with you guys, but you guys set the tone early in this one.
Well, we watched a lot of film. We watched like 3-4 games. We knew we couldn't take this lightly from last year, because last year we came up short to a team, I think they was 22nd, St. Andrews 22nd, so we knew not to come here and take it lightly.
Dom, I've been very impressed with your game. I coach at Archmere, so we played against you and had to prepare for you. I thought you were terrific in your decision-making on attacking the basket and finishing around the rim with a variety of shots. Tell us a little bit about how you've developed that skill.
I really just work on it. Like, I go to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I just work on my touch, my shooting, everything that's going to get me to the next level.
There we go. Got the big three joining us here. Courtside with Miles and John Clemens as well.
I couldn't do it without these two
and
everybody else.
And again, a heck of a performance for you guys. But now you look ahead. You got here. You're going to take on the 8 seed Sanford, a team that you guys had here at home, right? You got a big win. You're able to dictate the pace in that game. What's kind of the mindset now as you get ready for the next matchup in round 2?
We just want to stay aggressive. We know we beat them in the regular season, but playoff energy is different. We don't want to come in there and take this light.
Your defense was terrific tonight. It keyed the 2 big runs at the start of the second quarter and the third quarter. That 2-2-1 is really excellent. You guys do a great job up front. Is that something that you've done all season long?
Yes, we work on that a lot in practice. A lot of transition drills, a lot of up and down the court in practice.
And God, I'm going to let you get back here to your team in a little bit here, but what's the key for you guys? Obviously a huge performance here to kick off your state tournament run. What do you guys got to do to be holding up that trophy here in a couple weeks?
We just got to stay level-headed and stay aggressive and don't lessen up. Like, keep our foot on the gas.
And again, I saw you got the Montecitos back on. They've been working for you, man. Been killing them. Keep it up. Appreciate it.
Only lost 1 game in them.
That's right.
Keep them on.
There you go. I would too if I had them. There you go, Dom Wyatt. We really appreciate your time, man. Congratulations and good luck going forward. There we go. Bringing in John Clemens now. Also, Miles White joining him here a little bit next to us. Yeah, it flips up here. Let me help you out. Yeah, it can get you a little confusing here. There you go. As we welcome in John Clemens. John, we appreciate you joining us here. A playoff victory for your guys again. As Coach mentioned to Dom a few moments ago, it started on the defensive end of the floor near the end of that first quarter into the second. Some traps, some pressure in the backcourt, and you were able to come up with an abundance of steals, turn those into the points. What was kind of the mindset on the defensive side of things tonight?
Well, we already seen that they were startled and they were scared by our intensity already. So it was just to come out the gate on them and be on them as soon as we could. And I just anticipated the pass and lanes and then make sure I get my teammates open as well and then turn them into 2 points and get us back in the defense.
John, I like your versatility. You can shoot the 3, you can put it on the floor, but I think they don't maybe do enough of this because you don't need to, but your play around the post is really good. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Every day in the gym, I just make sure I work on every aspect of the game that I need to work on and just make sure that it keeps me as a college player. You know, that's the main goal is getting to the college and, you know, also get in the championship as well, too. And I always make them in the morning and make sure I just do what I got to do to win the games.
Well, best of luck against Sanford. Should be a good one.
Thank you.
John, what stands out about this team as you get ready for Sanford? You know, what is different about you? I've been here, obviously, multiple times this season. You guys have looked good throughout the regular season. What is it about this team that can have you guys ready to make a state championship run?
Just play the way we played tonight. Intensity, defensively, you know, being smart on offense as well, making sure we make the right reads and like no selfishness, you know, move the ball around and get the right shot that's going to help us win the game.
John Clements, fantastic game yet again tonight. Really appreciate your time. Good luck on Thursday against Sanford.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I'll bring up Miles White here. Hop on real quick, Miles, if you want to. You got it. I think that'll do it. Miles has some stuff to take care of, so we're good. We got the fans that want to hop in it. And that's why they're winning. Well, that'll do it, Coach. Let's wrap it up here courtside from Caravel. Let's just talk to Miles here for a second. Miles, just a quick question for you. Obviously, you've been, chatting up with the fans here after a nice performance here out in front. What was working for you guys tonight?
It always starts with defense. We came out, we played with intensity. Usually we start a little slow in the first quarter, but we started a little slow, but we started throwing punches at the end, and they really couldn't handle it.
And then before we let you go, just talk a little bit about your intensity on defense. It was phenomenal tonight, forcing tons of turnovers on the other side. How was that able to work out for you guys?
It's just rotations, we talk a lot at practice, we work on the rotation, so if somebody traps, somebody else has a fill-in. And a lot of teams can't handle pressure, especially once they get to that corner. And some strong, like guards who are not as strong, they can't really handle that pressure, so they throw turnovers usually. And we do a good job of capitalizing, and I think we scored 19 points off turnovers in the first quarter, in the first half, so,
How about that, Coach? He does live stats during the game as well. He knows it exactly.
Miles, I was really impressed with, obviously, your team's performance defensively, but I think you guys share the ball as well as anybody, and I thought you got some great play from Carmen and Robinson off the bench. Tell us a little bit about their contributions.
They're football players, so they're big, strong, Makai Carmen committed to UD. He's a big, strong guy. So their intensity, they knock people around, and then they're getting better at finishing. Last year, I don't know if they wasn't really catching the ball like that, but yeah, they really finished. They helped the team a lot because Owen didn't play in the beginning, so he came join the team. He helped us out a lot.
Awesome, Miles. Well, thank you so much, man. Good luck against Sanford. It's going to be a big one there. 8 versus 9 coming up on Thursday night.
Sir. Thank you.
So that'll do it for Nick Allison-Drini, the coach, Bill Harmon. Coach Caravel, big win tonight. They'll take on Sanford. Should be an exciting one.
That was a terrific performance by them tonight. Sanford, I'm sure they'll be ready. You get them at your home court, a little different venue. But Caravel off to a great start in their attempt to get back to the bottom.
And that'll do it for us here live from Bear. Caravel gets the win. We'll see you on Thursday, schedule to be announced. But for Mike Lang, Jason Winchell, Nick Allison-Drini, and the coach Bill Harmon, we will see you. Playoff basketball officially underway. The girls tomorrow, St. Mark's and Dover will be live right here on Delaware Live Sports.